Right. It's that time of year again. And thank God for online shopping. Yeah, it really is great to be alive at a time when you don't have to shop manually in the town centre and have to share the same spaces as some of the people who think that Christmas is just for them. As long as their Christmas shopping spree goes well, they couldn't give a toss about anybody else. Just huffing and puffing their way through Advent. I am a Christian. Christmas is a Christian holiday, and this is a Christian country. Therefore, I will be even ruder in December than I already am the previous 11 months of the year. Now, excuse me, you're in my way. No, I'm not. This is your cue. You're supposed to join it like the rest of us, you entitled, snobby, horrible, fucking bastard of a woman. Listen to him. I bet he shops at Primark, loser. Yeah, it's supposed to be a pleasant time of year, is it not? It's not like back in the 1970s and the 80s where it all had to be one mad rush and you'd be out at the very last minute to get Junior his Chewbacca and Han Solo Star Wars action figures to go along with the Millennium Falcon that his nan bought him, or to get little Kerry the Cabbage Patch doll she's been banging on about all year, you know, because the shops are going to shut at 4 p.m. or all the crucifixes in the United Kingdom are going to turn upside down. Yeah, things have evolved. That's why God made Jeff Bezos and smartphones. So you can put your feet up and get on the Amazon. Yeah, but it's not the same then, okay? It's not the same. Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, it's actually a whole lot better. You know, you can get your main shopping done online, and then during the week or so, approaching Christmas, while everybody's running around like headless chickens in the town centre, you can be one of those smug, happy people stood outside by one of the wooden stalls at the Christmas market, sampling the festive food and the German beers and the German sausages. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah. Oh, I might try some of that mulled wine later on. I've never tried mulled wine before. Oh, fancy a pretzel or an olive. I think they come free with the beer. Oh, wear a matching scarf, bobble hat and gloves. Dress up like one of the, the main characters from South Park. You know, and pretend you're in one of those American Christmas movies on Channel 5 that my fucking sister won't stop watching. Go skating over at the ice rink in the Winter Wonderland outside the Cardiff Museum and laugh at all the big girls in leggings falling over and breaking their arms. Just enjoy a stress-free shopping experience, getting the odd stocking fillers because you've already got the big stuff, you know, taking all the decorations, look at the lights. Oh, look at the lights. Oh, I'm feeling rather Christmassy now. Good. That's the idea. That's what it's there for, to be enjoyed. Relaxation, merriment. Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody. Oh, da, da, da. You know, smell those donuts. You know, those warm donuts they sell at the stores at the Christmas market, man, they're too tempting for me. I can't afford to actually buy one, but if you hang around down on the Hayes by St. David's Hall, if you hang around long enough during the Christmas period, someone always ends up dropping one. And it's so busy that nobody notices you swooping down in between people's legs like a pigeon and just, you know. They're still looking on the floor thinking, where the fuck's my donut gone? I just took out a loan to pay for that. What? Finders keepers. That's one of the good things about being born in the 1970s. There's absolutely no shame whatsoever in picking fresh food up off the floor and eating it. Younger people always be looking at you all disgusted like, oh my God, did you see that? Oh my God. Yeah. What? What the fuck you looking at? I'm skint. What am I going to do? Pay for it? Fucking pussy? Man, I don't understand why younger people get so shocked when I tell them about how I used to go on the Mitch from school in Cardiff City Centre, and if I saw someone only eat a half bag of chips, I'd wait until they threw them away so I could snatch them out of the bin and eat them. You know, man. You know, 'cause usually I'd spend the money I made from selling my dinner tickets on a 10-pack of Regal king-size cigarettes. So, being a fat kid, I'd be hungry as fuck. That was normal behaviour for me. There was nothing more satisfying as an 11-year-old boy than hanging around Cardiff City Centre while all the other kids are stuck behind a desk in school doing long multiplication, fractions, long division, and other nightmarish, horrible maths problems, or having some fucking gym teacher humiliating you during PE, you know, getting his rocks off and making you cry in front of all the other kids. You know, it felt cool to know that while everybody else was stuck in school, I was out in the fresh air, filling up my belly with half bags of chip shop chips and beef burgers in batter from Caroline Street that I never even had to pay for. You know, sharing a cigarette outside C&A with a tramp who refused to let me have a nip on his bottle of whiskey. You know, I'd be like, I'm grateful for the cigarette, boy, I really am, but I can't give you any of this stuff. It's poison. Absolute poison. You're only a young boy, you know, and if you already like the food and the cigarettes, you'll probably like the booze too, and I couldn't live with myself if you started drinking. It'll ruin your life. Don't make the same mistakes as me, boy. Poison. Thanks for the cigarette, though. Yeah. I'll never forget that. Okay, at the time, every adult male that I was told to respect and look up to sold me down the fucking river and betrayed me when really they should have been protecting me. But this man here, you know, with a beard full of dreadlocks, smelling like a urinal with no fixed abode, he treated me with respect. You know. What I'm trying to say is, as long as it don't fall next to a lump of dog shit or into a puddle of cold puke that's been chucked up out of some drunk person's guts the night before, or it falls on top of a patch of dry blood that's dripped out of someone's nose that's just taken a beating, that warm, soft, freshly baked, sugar-coated donut is going to be just fine for you to put in your mouth and swallow. The only thing that's going to get hurt is your street cred. Who cares? That's for fucking idiots. You know? Anyway, just enjoy the perks of living in a time when you really don't have to stress anymore at Christmas with regards to buying gifts. I mean, what kind of sick, perverted masochist would rather be sweating like a pig in Argos, looking for one of those little blue betting shop pens that actually works, queuing up with other sweaty, highly agitated people? Everybody's on edge. Babies screaming in their pram. You know, you're thirsty while also busting for a piss. Your blood sugar's getting low because you haven't had nothing to eat, and you're feeling a bit dizzy while also holding in a big shit. You're standing there all uncomfortable. You're like, oh, God, man. I knew I should have waited to go to the toilet before I left the house. Oh, man, if this queue don't go down soon, I'm going to fucking piss and shit my fucking pants. Then, just as you get a few people away from the collection point, you realise you forgot to get your ticket. Or you lost your ticket, but now you can't remember the number. So, you know, you got to go back to the end of the queue and God, no. Yeah, nowadays, your most embarrassing moment in life, and it ends up going viral on the internet. Millions of people all around the planet sharing different clips of you being filmed in Argos by different people from different angles. You know, a grown adult just emptying your guts and pissing your pants in public. Just yeah, everybody starts puking because of the smell of throwing up into prams. Some old lady slips on a splash of your urine, bangs her head so hard on the floor that she goes into a coma and never regains consciousness. Young grandchildren are crying as they kneel down beside her to wake her up, blood pouring out of her ears. Nan, wake up, Nan! Nan, wake up, wake up! And you're forever known as the horrible, smelly fat bastard who fucking piss and shit himself in the fucking queue at Argos. You know, everywhere you go, you're like, you're that dirty, stinking Christmas shopper that fucking shit and pissed his pants in front of everyone in Argos. Yes, somebody puked on my newly born grandson after you did that, you fucking... Yeah. Why would you even risk that when you can just sit at home, on your phone, on the toilet, just going, ooh, that's cheaper. Or next day delivery if I order before midnight. Plop. Okay, you can listen to music that you like instead of being forced to listen to Slade's Merry Christmas for the 100th time, or another version of Live Aid, or that the Paul McCartney one that says the chorus over and over again without even being catchy. Everyone's having a wonderful Christmas time. 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 It's like, man, he must have been on drugs when he thought that song was worth recording. I could fucking do better than that. Ah, well, you know, I'm Paul McCartney of the Beatles. Even if it is shit, there's still going to be millions of people who are going to buy it. Well, some people need to know, okay, that the world does not end after Christmas Day. The shops are still going to be here, and the kids are not all going to turn into a fucking pumpkin or suddenly become delinquent and resent you for the rest of your days if you don't get all the things they wanted you to get if you haven't got them already. Worse things happen, okay? It's not really that big of a deal if they have to get one or two of their presents during the January sales instead. Okay? Oh yeah, but you know they'll be expecting it, and I wouldn't want a disappointment because fuck off. If you can convince them that a fat man in a red suit is flying around the world on a sleigh giving gifts out to all the children, then I'm pretty sure it's not going to be too much of a stretch if a few weeks, maybe even a few months before Christmas, you introduce the concept of Santa sometimes maybe a little late, especially in his old age. Tell him he has to prioritise all the children that have been bombed or are living in third world countries. I'm sure there's enough footage here on YouTube of toddlers in Africa with distended stomachs and flies all over their face, or little corpses being dragged out of rubble in war-torn areas that can be used as a good enough example to help explain to your little fucking bastard that sometimes you just have to wait a little bit longer. That's all. It's not going to kill them. They'll understand if you actually take the time to bring them up correctly. Okay? You chose to bring them into the world, so I suggest that you get them fucking prepared for it, okay? Can you do that? Instead of almost knocking me over in the middle of Queen Street and kicking my fucking walking stick from under me because you're in a rush. Excuse me. Man, I was only in town for an hour yesterday. No, the day before, after my appointment, okay? at the hospital, and already my internal dialogue had lost all sense of being in the Christmas spirit. One minute I'm thinking, I might visit one of the toy shops and buy a little present for my great niece and my great nephew. That'll be nice. Yeah, 10 minutes later after walking around, I'm like, man, if that woman barges past me again, I'm going to kick her down a fucking escalator. And it's always these bitchy, bitter, sucking on a lemon type lip injections. You want to tap them on the shoulder and say, listen, love, bit of advice. It's not your face that's the problem. It's your fucking attitude. Now get out of my way before I throw this hot cup of coffee I just bought from Greg's right in your fucking face. Of course, I wouldn't do that if it wasn't for the fact that her skin is protected by about 10 inches of makeup. And her eyes are protected by big fake eyelashes that make it look like she got a pair of vampire bats flapping up around the top front of her head. You know? You could throw a large prison-style scalding hot cappuccino mixed with half a bag of sugar in her face, and it probably wouldn't even register through all the foundation. You just throw her in your face, she's just like, oh, I felt a spot of rain then. Oh, I'm glad I brought my Christmas pudding umbrella with me. You know, you'd have to take a sledgehammer followed by a numismatic drill just to get through to her face. You know, you could do it in the middle of the night while she was fast asleep. And as long as she had a pair of ear defenders on, she wouldn't even fucking wake up. You know, you'd be standing over her wearing a high-vis and a hard hat, fucking banging and chiseling your way, drilling into her forehead like a road worker on a closed-off section of the motorway, just... and she'd be in the land of Nod, just... you know, dreaming about winning a competition to spend an afternoon on the set of an episode of EastEnders or Hollyoaks as a background extra or whatever the fuck, you know. And then in the morning when she finally does wake up, it looks like somebody has thrown the remnants of a broken vase in her bed. She says, what's all this? Why is there all bits of broken china everywhere? You know, her head feels 2 stone lighter as she lifts it up off the pillow, thinking it's because the Manjaro injection has started working. So when she looks in the bathroom to brush her teeth in the mirror, that she actually sees herself for the first time in 30 fucking years. Looking like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. Christmas shopping. Get out of my way. Fuck me. Fuck me, you mother. Buy socks for Christmas. And the ones who perpetuate all this last minute rushing around and act like they're the only thing that stands in the way of everybody having a shit Christmas, always playing the martyr, you know, shoving their way through the shops, spending the first 24 days of December being moody, constantly talking about how stressed out they are, as if it's a matter of life and death. I'm so stressed out. Yeah, don't speak to me, I'm stressed out getting everything ready for Christmas. I'm so stressed out. This is the last time I do it, okay? Next year, everybody can fend for themselves. And they're like, yeah, that's exactly what you said last year, and the year before, and every other fucking year before that. Nobody asked you to go out of your way for them, okay? We just want to have a relaxing couple of days. Is that too much to ask? You're the one that's getting your knickers in a twist and worrying about every little detail. Ooh, shall I get a Christmas hat for the turkey as a novelty accoutrement? How funny would that be if I brought the turkey into the dining room from the oven with a red Christmas hat on it? After all, 'tis the silly season. Aren't I inventive and creative? Aren't I funny? It's Christmas, you fucking stupid cow. You know, it's not like you've been asked to plan a fucking royal wedding. And the point being, don't make us feel guilty for you running around like a blue-ass fly when nobody either asked or expects you to. You know, and it's always that person that straight after you finish Christmas dinner, you know, after they've spent the whole month of December being moody, snapping at everyone, thinking that getting everything ready for Christmas excuses them for being a bastard with no manners, and putting everybody on edge with their self-imposed Christmas itinerary. As soon as they finish their dinner, that's the exact same person that goes all that build-up and it's over now for another year. It's not worth all the fuss, really, is it? And everybody at the dinner table just like, you fucking cunt. You fucking busybody fucking cunt. You know, it takes everybody's bit of Christmas spirit and goodwill to other people to fight the urge and not sucker punch them so hard that they don't wake up until the day after Boxing Day when everybody else has gone back to work. You know, they wake up sat in the corner of the dining room with a do not disturb sign around their neck and one of those party hats from a cracker still on their head. There's a note on the table just says, thanks for being unconscious, P.S. leftovers in the fridge. Yeah, in the town centre, predominantly it's women who are a pain in the ass at Christmas. Alright, locally, in the local shops, the local supermarkets and on the streets around here or in the pub, it's always the men. Okay, it's always the men. They've started already where I live, using Christmas as an excuse to drink increasingly more cans of lager than they usually drink, up until the 25th, when once again they monumentally fuck everything up and ruin everybody else's Christmas by smashing up the presents because the kids went downstairs too early to see if Santa's been. And Dad decides he's going to put his foot down and teach him a lesson because he's the man of the house and he's pissed off because he's already done all the drugs he got on tick and his missus is now refusing to lend him any more money to go and buy some more. I said nobody was to fucking go downstairs till 9 o'clock. It's only fucking 7:30. You fucking noisy little cunt. I'll fucking show you Christmas. Pulls down the tree, kicks the fucking television through, punches holes in the walls, you know, threatening the mother as they all huddle in the corner, screaming in terror. Oh, what the fuck you crying about? I told you not to go downstairs, and what do? You fucking go downstairs. If you never went downstairs in the first place, I wouldn't have fucking smashed up your fucking presents, would I? It's not my fault your mother won't lend me any money, you know, or you won't do as you're fucking told. You fucking ruined my Christmas now, you fucking... Man, if that's you, okay, if you're that guy, I hope early hours on Christmas morning you fucking choke on your vomit. Okay? You know, your wife wakes up next to you because of the noise, and instead of rolling you over, she gets out of bed, grabs your phone so there's no way for you to contact anyone, and quietly tiptoes out of the room. And the last thing you see is your lungs fill up with puke. Is your family standing in the doorway of your bedroom, holding their hands together with hope and excitement. He's dying, I think he's dying. Oh, I think he's dying. Oh. Yeah. Man. Then they just leave your corpse in the bed until the beginning of January, going off next to the radiator and fermenting in 24 cans worth of regurgitated Carling Black Label as they enjoy their first Christmas without you spoiling it for them. You know, any man that can be overheard screaming and shouting because he's had too much to drink or too much, or whatever, you know, during Christmas when there's young children present, okay, he should be dragged out of the house and kicked up and down the street like a football. And as long as I do these vlogs, okay, every Christmas I'll be saying the same thing. Don't fuck Christmas up for the children, okay? It messes with their heads. And if there's anybody watching this that thinks I'm being horrible, okay, and I'm going overboard, you know, listen, I am fully aware that the reason some parents behave like this, okay, is because they themselves have been deeply affected by traumatic events in their own childhood that have been left unprocessed. And what might be seen as being disturbing and wrong to me, to you and most other people, might very well be considered by those who regularly behave this way as just being normal. I understand that, okay? I do. I get it. I really do. And anybody that knows me well enough to know that in real life, in real everyday life, I'm a very understanding person, and I will always try my best to be as compassionate as I can possibly be. However, in the interest of this vlog and the catharsis I get from speaking this way about some of the people that exist in the area within which I live, fuck them. Okay, fuck them. You know, once you choose to bring a child into the world, they come first. End of story. Okay? And I mean, you know, a few years before the COVID, you know, one of the drivers where I worked came into the depot during the Christmas period. Yeah, and he had a proper cob on, slamming the door, throwing the bins around. He got a face like a ripped dap. I'm like, man, what's his problem? You know, I'm like, hey mate, what's the matter, man? What's wrong? He's fucking. You know, it turns out his son didn't want to go into town to see the Coca-Cola truck that visits Cardiff Town Centre at Christmas every year, and he's nearly crying. This guy, he's fucking. It's a truck. It's a fucking truck. Is it really that amazing to you? You spend 8 hours a day coming back and forth into the depot in a truck that you're actually driving. If I was you, I'd be over the fucking moon. What kind of fucking drip of a man would want to drive back into town after a hard day's work to go see a truck when he's been sat in a truck since 6 o'clock in the morning? Well, you know, it's just I thought it'd be nice to see it in the flesh again, you know. It might not always be there. We all went last year and, you know, the year before, you know, he didn't mind going then. Now all he wants to do is stay upstairs on the PlayStation. That's all he does. Is this guy for real? How long is it going to take for the novelty of the Coca-Cola truck coming to Cardiff at Christmas to wear off? You know, how about you stay in and have a go on the PlayStation with your son instead? You fucking tool. You know, have you ever played Call of Duty or Doom on the PlayStation? Man, yeah, it's way more interesting than freezing your bollocks off in the pissing rain, gawping at what is essentially a moving advert for a world-famous soft drink that doesn't really need any more introduction, really, does it? And allegedly is the cause of diabetes. Okay, it's a red trailer with a white logo written on the side of it. You stupid fucking backward cunt. Imagine having a dad that gets highly emotional about something like that. What's the fucking world? Yeah. You know, people banging on about how this country is going down the pan because of immigration and people on benefits. You know, it's got less to do with immigration and people on benefits and more to do with some of you stupid fucking dumb fucks having kids when you're an even more immature human being than the ones that have already just got you. Fucking thick as fuck. You know, it's the people that work in shops and the supermarkets I feel sorry for at this time of year. You know, they always have to take the brunt, and they're never appreciated. Everyone just takes them for granted. I spent a few years working in a retail job, and people speak to you like you're a bit of a shit all year round, okay? I was always ashamed to be seen doing it. No offence to anybody that works in retail, but I hated it. I always wanted the earth to open up and swallow me. I remember somebody from school came in with his wife when I was working behind the till in Home Bargains. I'm standing there with my uniform, red jumper, looking like a big fat fucking strawberry with my little name badge. He comes out, he's like, alright Kev, long time no see, so what are you up to now then? I got a job working undercover for the FBI as a cashier in a local supermarket. What's it look like, you fucking div? You know, I've done roofing, labouring, factory work, waste management, some proper hardcore physical dirty jobs, and they were a fucking doddle compared to having to work in retail. You know, whenever you see scaffolders or builders in the pub wearing their high-vis, trying to convey to everyone how dangerous their job is, they haven't got a fucking clue. Never send a boy to do a man's job or he'll never get done. Yeah, that's why they've hired me. You know, because I'm willing to put myself in danger. I risk my life every day on that building site. Yeah. You could say I'm a bit of a hero. Fuck off. You know, sorry to pop your balloon there, Magic Mike and the village people. But, you know, you're a little too impressed with yourself. Sorry, okay, you're a little bit too impressed with yourself. As long as you follow the correct procedures and all the health and safety checks have been done, you're pretty safe. Provided nobody is going to be cutting corners or rushing the job, and you're all wearing the proper protective equipment, there's minimum peril. Okay, I don't mean to ruin the image you like to have about yourself, but in my experience, the hours are reasonable, the money's quite good, unless you're on the sniff every weekend or you want to be a stupid flash bastard shelling out for all the top labels, you know, for the sake of keeping up with the Joneses or impressing your mates down the pub, or some bird who's as shallow as a puddle of cold dog's piss. As long as you and the firm that you work for adheres to all the rules and the regulations that have been put in place specifically to ensure that your safety and the safety of your fellow workers, and you're not irresponsible enough to, you know, be hungover or under the influence while operating heavy machinery or being up a ladder, you're going to be okay. Sorry, okay, you're going to be okay. I know the high-vis and the hard hat help add a few inches to your manhood, metaphorically speaking. But if you want real danger, go work in a supermarket on a council estate. Okay? It may not, at first, appear to be as masculine or dangerous as you'd like people to think that you are, or what you do is. But it is. If you want danger, go work in a supermarket with all the fucking heroin addicts, the unmedicated paranoid schizophrenics, you know, smoking too much weed, repeat violent offenders, or, you know, the average criminal just walking in and nicking everything right in front of your face, goading you on, asking you to stop them. Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Come on. Come on, stop me, I dare you, come on. Pulling things off the shelf, smashing jars of spaghetti sauce on the floor, telling you to go fuck your mother. Come on, what are you going to do? Come on, you want me to put a screwdriver in your skull? Come on, stop me, you fucking shithouse. Come on, I'll fucking smash your head in, you fucking fat cunt. Come on. Knife crime in this country is at a record high. Yet, for the sake of reaching targets and getting their annual bonus at the end of the year, you'll always get some fucking corporate suit from head office that still gets annoyed with staff members if they refuse to put themselves in harm's way to protect the stock. They'd be looking at the CCTV like, that young lad with the balaclava and the machete has just walked past you with a 12-pack of lager, 3 bottles of Christmas special edition chocolate Baileys, and a large Cadbury selection box. Why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you stop him? Man, I'd rather go back to felting roofs, hanging off of scaffolding on a building site, or working heavy machinery and backing 18-wheeler trucks into tight spaces with a hangover than risk my life in a shop facing down psychopaths every day. Okay, that's danger. The pay's shit, the hours are shit, and more often than not, especially during the Christmas period, you're having to interact with all the fucking horrible cunts. And when it does kick off, the manager always takes their word over yours because of that well-known mantra that the retail industry prides itself on of the customer is always right. The customer is always right. The customer is always... No. If the customer is being disrespectful to your staff, who you pay the bare minimum to shelve and sell your stock, then the customer is a fucking cunt, and their wants and needs should not impede on the staff's well-being. Fuck the customer if that's how they're going to be. Fuck them. Take care of the staff and they'll take care of your business. It's not rocket science. As the late Dr. Logan once said, civility must be rewarded. If it isn't rewarded, then there's no use for it. There's just no use for it at all. And if you're serving the general public for a minimum wage when there's a high percentage of rude, mentally unstable and potentially violent bastards wandering around, at the very least, you should be able to answer back in a way that's equal to how you're being treated. An eye for an eye, just like it says in the fucking Bible. For example, if you're a CEO of a well-known retail outlet that serves the local community with their bread, milk and bare essentials that every household needs, and there's a constant flow of supply and demand, then start evolving with modern times and give those staff members the permission to verbally defend themselves in a manner that works when they're being treated poorly, without the threat of them losing their job just because you want them to uphold the wholesome reputation of whatever fucking company you work for, at the expense of their dignity and sometimes their actual safety. If the staff that work at supermarkets were allowed to blatantly tell rude customers to fuck off without losing their job, then they might very well be more inclined to keep an eye on your stock. See where I'm going with this? Do you see how this shit works? You corporate dead behind the eyes pretending to be like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street just because you wear a suit to work, sales and marketing, most popular person with all the dumb chicks at the head office, fucking cunt. Man, I know from personal experience, if you're being made to stand there behind a till like a fucking turnip and have no recourse when people are being purposely rude and horrible, when you're only being paid a pittance, You're just going to do the basic minimum in order to get paid, and you're going to very probably find ways to skim off the takings. So you can buy £30 baggies of MDMA crystals, you know, to help you get through an entire shift without putting one of their precious customers' heads through a fucking brick wall, or knocking one of the managers out in the staff kitchen when you're on tea break. Yeah, I used to hate the store managers that are so passionate about the chain that they work for that they say annoying shit like, remember, if you're wearing your uniform to or from the workplace, instead of just changing into your uniform when you get here to begin your shift, please remember that you are representing the company when you are wearing the company's logo. And if I hear of any staff members behaving inappropriately out of work hours while wearing the uniform, they will be brought up for a disciplinary. That even goes for something as minor as using swear words in public. Oh, eat shit, you fucking stupid looking cunt. You know, I bet when you were a kid and people asked you, what did you want to be when you grow up, you said, Paula Venables from the post office scandal. Oh yeah, I want to have power over good, hard-working British people so that I can uphold the name and reputation of fine British institutions, and I'd also like to spread the word of Jesus and be a vicar in a church as a side hustle. I can imagine that Paula Venables on Christmas Day. I can imagine her asking all those sat around the dining table to put their hands together and join her in prayer of thanks as they tuck into their Christmas dinner. Okay? You know, and not even giving a second thought to all those people that got their lives ruined thanks to her unwavering loyalty to the post office. Loving God, we ask thee for this gift today, for the joy of family and friends gathered here, and for the blessings we share as we celebrate the birth of Jesus. Fill our hearts with peace, kindness and gratitude. Bless this food, but cringe attack. You know, I guarantee people like Paula Venables, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, and that that John Smythe fella whose crimes got covered up by the Church of England. I bet those are the last faces one would see staring down at you from under hooded robes just before you get your heart cut out while lying on the altar of sacrifice. You know, a bit like that scene in Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut when Tom Cruise gets invited to that secret sex party for rich cunts. Something like that. You know, don't get me wrong, I respect people's faith. I do. Okay, all faiths. But, you know, as far as Christian, I very much believe that if Jesus does come back, he's probably going to reject about 70% of people that say they speak for him. He's going to be like, whoa, what are you doing? Don't involve me in any of your bullshit. Keep my name out of your fucking mouths. I'm all about kindness, compassion, and goodwill to all men. You're bitter. You just want to control everyone, using base level manipulation and grooming tactics to trick vulnerable people into distributing your leaflets, you know, to other vulnerable people that live in areas where people are known to struggle. You know, then if enough of them start giving you a few pounds a week out of their benefit money, you can live happily ever after while they continue to recruit even more vulnerable people to join what is essentially a pyramid scheme. I don't want people like you celebrating my birthday. You're not invited. I'd rather break bread with all the atheists and agnostics and people of other faiths and the Christians who live by example instead of just using my name and my father's name to line their fucking pockets and create even more division in the world. I suggest you get the fuck out of my face and stay off my side, okay? You're a bunch of fucking weirdos. I don't know. I'm trying to look for it now. Where is it? I don't know if anybody is experiencing this where they live, but we got born again Christians going around the estate again, accosting those like myself who are using walking sticks and struggling with their mobility or are elderly, and offering to heal us of our ailments. Honestly, no shit. I'm trying to look for I have a leaflet to give. Anyway, I'm walking down to the Lidl, past the flats just at the end of my street, and all of a sudden this woman just came out of nowhere from behind one of the cars, and 10 seconds later I got an ex-heroin addict and another guy who looks like he got anger issues standing on either side of me. Okay, she's holding my arm. One got his hand on the top of my head, the other on my shirt, yeah? Do you mind if we minister you and cure your ailments with the word of God? What the fuck? I have no problem with people of faith, but when you use that faith to invade my personal space and suddenly put your hands on me, when I've already got serious issues with that sort of behaviour, I'm on the defensive. I'm like, I don't like people touching me. Fuck off. Oh, if you don't repent, you won't go to heaven. Oh, really? Are you three going to be there? Yeah, well, I don't want to go there then, because as much as I don't like to judge a book by its cover, I've been around long enough to recognise that look in all your eyes. Okay, and that look tells me that you've done something really fucking horrible to someone in the past, and given half a chance, if you were alone in a room with someone who was weaker than you, who refused to listen to your bullshit and do what you want them to do, there's a definite possibility that you might do something horrible to them too. Alright, I know people like you, and you're a fucking serpent. If it's not religion, it's politics or conspiracy theories. As long as there's a boogeyman or boogeymen to point your finger at and stop you from taking accountability of the evil that you do. Now, honestly, as I'm walking away, they're like, oh, you won't get into heaven. Man. Every few years, there's a resurgence of them hanging around outside the local shops and wandering around the estate, handing out leaflets to join their ministry. They're creepy as fuck, they are. It's like they're in a cult. They're like Charles Manson types, but without the alternative hippie vibe. Fashion-wise, they're like a cross between Jimmy Savile with some of the tracks and Roy Cropper from Coronation Street. Proper oddbods. You'd think their ministry would be a bit more discerning when it comes to the type of folks that they put on the front line to hand out their leaflets and to flog their books and go out on the street on recruitment drives. There's not much thought going on in the sales and marketing department when the team leader is known for breaking into people's houses and killing them when they're asleep. Oh yeah, I used to fuck corpses and collect severed heads to use for oral sex, but yeah, I'm alright now. I've given myself over to Jesus. It's good to see you turning your life around, it really is, but saying you're good and that you believe God is good still doesn't make you good, in my humble opinion. Okay, and the fact that you're covered in somebody else's blood right now is a bit of a red flag for me. Thanks, but I like my Slayer albums too much. Okay, now get the fuck out of my personal space before I push your eyes into the back of your head with my fucking thumbs. You're freaking me out. I'm trying to find the leaflet to prove. Oh, anyway. Who needs religion at Christmas when you just bought a 40-inch Toshiba smart television on a Black Friday deal for 120 quid? And you've got a fantastic DVD collection to choose from so you can watch them on it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy sitting around the television with my mother and sister over the Christmas, but it's always the same old shit. I swear, if I gotta watch Morecambe and Wise Christmas special one more time, I'm gonna throw the fucking turkey out in the street just to make a point. Oh, come on, you gotta watch Morecambe and Wise at Christmas. Come on, you have to. Says who? The fucking fossil in the corner. Why have you always got to watch what she wants to watch? It's not like back in the day when there's only 3 channels and a radio. We've got Netflix now, DVD players, everything's digital. I say we put Morecambe and Wise on record and you can watch it every day for the rest of the year, and we watch some classic movies of my choice on Christmas Day instead. I'll make sure they're entertaining. You know, I don't want to watch Morecambe and Wise or Santa Claus the movie. I don't care if Dudley Moore's in it. It's fucking crap. I remember when I was 12 years of age and I had to go and see Santa Claus the movie with my mum and 2 sisters in the old ABC cinema on Queen Street in Cardiff. When 2 doors down, at the same time at the Odeon, they were playing Big Trouble in Little China. Man, I'm like, oh, come on, Mum. Just let me go and see that and I'll meet you all outside. It's only up by there. They say, no, you're not old enough. I promised your sisters that we'd go and see Santa Claus the movie, and that's the end of it. See your little sisters crying now. Come on. Man, I remember sitting there sulking all the way through it, eating one of those, the strawberry jam mallow biscuits and a cherry egg panda pop my mum bought from the VG store around the corner because, she couldn't afford to buy us any popcorn or a American-style hot dog or any of the proper soft drinks. And shit food, shit pop, and a shit fucking movie that's not directed by John Carpenter and doesn't star Kurt Russell. The main problem with Santa Claus the movie is that all the presents that Santa Claus is distributing to all the children are fucking ultra crap. Even by 1980s standards. What with Santa's magical powers and a factory full of elves making all the gifts, you'd think he'd be more creative and get with the times. No wonder parents always used to get into debt. If I got a scooter made of wood after being a good boy all year when the Atari 2600 was available, I would have thought that being good isn't all it's cracked up to be and gone out on a race to steal something worth having. I'd be like, fuck you, Santa. Your gifts are outdated by fucking decades. What am I going to do with a wooden scooter? I live on a council estate. Everything's concrete. By the time I've gone around the block, all the fucking wheels are going to fall off. Last year I asked for an Eagle Eye Action Man figure with all the accessories, and all I got was a fucking yo-yo. Man. All those Christmas programs from the 70s and the 80s, they just trigger me now. They take me back to a time I've spent the last 45 years trying to forget. While everybody is laughing at Eric Morgan, Morecambe, telling Andre Previn I'm playing all the right notes, just not necessarily in the right order. While they're all laughing, I'm getting flashbacks of finding dead bodies or, thinking about being up all night listening to my dad puking in the bath because he's had too much to drink and leaving it for my mum to clean up on Christmas morning after she's come home from doing a night shift at the hospital, and they're both arguing. Where's my fucking Christmas too? If I want to have a drink, I'll have fun. Don't tell me what I can fucking do, woman. Otherwise, I'm just going to fucking pack my bags. And then when my mum does finish watching the Morecambe and Wise Christmas special, she'll turn the TV over to UK Gold and then watch documentaries of modern day comedians talking about Morecambe and Wise Christmas special. It never ends. It's like I'm caught in a Yuletide loop of childhood trauma and fucking crap entertainment. So I got my television now. Admittedly, I still do have the urge to get wrecked, but like I say, it'll probably kill me. I can't drink, I can't take drugs, I don't even smoke cigarettes or watch porn anymore. I haven't had sex since about a week before lockdown during COVID, okay, and I had to fucking pay for that, alright, when I was on holiday. You know, I've gone from having marathon 72-hour cocaine and ecstasy fueled wank sessions on a regular basis to busting my nut about once a month. And you know, since I've had a stroke, okay, the medical kind in my brain, you know, when I try to have a stroke, ever since I've had a stroke, most of the time I just get too fatigued and I just fall asleep. You know, I wake up with my dick in my hand. You know, it's very sad. Oh, I am sexually frustrated, man, you know. It's been a long time. I'm so backed up, it's beyond belief. Okay, see this? Okay, this isn't fat, this is unreleased sperm. I'm like a walking, talking human spunk bubble. If I shot a load right now, my waist would go back down to a 38. You know, maybe I should start going to church and contact the ministry that have been giving out those leaflets. It might actually get me laid. You know, I mean, the woman who approached me, she was really attractive until I noticed the little horns poking out from the top of her head, and instead of feet, she had cloven hooves and a tail coming out from the back of her coat. Right, I've got to stop this, folks, okay? I've done it without stopping now, so I feel like I'm going to puke. Before I go, I just want to say to everybody that's watching this, everybody, even the ones that hate me, have a really good Christmas, and thank you to those that support the channel, okay? Like I said, I know it's not, I've got to try and make it a little bit more presentable, but no, it means a lot, okay, that people are watching, and I just want to say to you all, have a really good Christmas, and all the best for next year, and I'll see you in the new year, okay? And I should have said this at the beginning, but don't watch these videos around little kids, because I believe in, you know, suspending their disbelief when it comes to Santa, and, you know, with all the stuff that I'm talking about in these videos, I wouldn't want to be the reason why some kid suddenly, you know, didn't believe in Santa Claus or something. You know what I'm saying, okay? You know, and if you're watching these videos when there's little ones around, like, get a fucking grip, okay? You know? But anyway, thank you, and have a good Christmas, okay? Bye.